Welcome to TKO, also known as
Trending with Keisha and Ori. If it's trending, we're talking about it.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to the TKO podcast, where if it's trending, we're talking about it. I'm Keisha. That's my partner, Ori. Ori, you brought on a special guest this episode. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Keisha, I was chopping it up with a good friend of mine, head football coach at Bowie State University, Damon Wilson. We go way back, and we're trying to take our show to the next level. So everybody sit back, relax, check out this interview, and we'll be right back for our thoughts. Coach Damon Wilson. What's up, Coach?
Hey, not a whole lot, Ori. Just relaxing, man. Spending time with the family, that's all.
I hear you, man. First of all, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, Humbled on our little podcast. We've been trying to have some guests and stuff on our show. So honestly, you are the first big time coach person on our show, the Great Side Show. So I guess we're making it.
There we go. We're going to make steps in the right direction.
Before I get started, I just want to tell people about you. You are the head coach at Bowie State University. You've been coaching there for over 9 years. You are the two-time back-to-back CIAA champ, and last year you had an undefeated season?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Did I miss anything?
That's it. You're right. You're right.
And also, Coach, I mean, nationally ranked, you were in the top 10 in interceptions, sacks, defensive touchdowns, tackles for loss, scoring, defense, third down, and red zone. Is that right, too?
That's correct. The guys are rolling.
Well, that's what's up. That's dope, man. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you, man. That's what's up, man. Like, how did you even get into coaching, man? Like, tell me your story.
Well, I was fortunate, man. As soon as I finished playing college football at Bowie State, my head coach left and took another college job. However, he left my name behind to the new coach. And he said, hey, if you're looking for some young guys to possibly put your coaching staff together, here's a guy that I will hire. And Coach Henry Frazier gave me an opportunity to become a college football coach right after I finished playing. And I have not looked back, so I've been coaching college football now over 20 years. But my story is a lot different than others. I was just fortunate to get a job as a part-time coach, which turned into a full-time deal. And hey, now I'm a head coach and just finished my 11th season as a college head football coach.
Wow. That's incredible. And I got to imagine it's even more incredible now with what's going on in the world today with COVID and the George Floyd stuff, Black Lives Matter. As far as the COVID stuff, what has life been like coaching and recruiting and keeping kids healthy and the parents and all that? Like, what is going on? What is life like for you and your student athletes?
I tell you, it's definitely changed. And I'm gonna be honest, some things that we had to adjust and do, I think we're going to carry some of those things with us with regards to virtual meetings and that sort of thing. Not being around the guys, that's a problem. That's something that it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow because we created a family environment at Bowie State, and not to have my eyes and be around my guys since March is tough. A lot of the young men come from different backgrounds, and they need that family atmosphere. So that's something that we've been missing. However, we put some things together as a coaching staff, but we're doing welfare checks on the guys, whereas though we may do drive-bys in the neighborhood, and like I said, we're always talking to them virtually through team meetings and also individual meetings. So we're trying to be creative as possible, but it's definitely a challenge dealing with 18 to 22-year-old young men. And not having the ability to be in front of them on a daily basis.
Got you. What about obviously staff personnel, also yourself, family, during this time period?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been different. I haven't been in the office but once since March, so I've been doing pretty much everything, and my staff been doing everything from home. They're spending time with their families, and we're fortunate, to still have jobs during this time. And, we just have to continue to come up with creative ways and communicating with one another and staying safe through this whole deal until we come out on the other side. But it's been adjustment, man. But we're all in all, I think we're doing really well as a program, and I think the coaching staff made the necessary adjustments and doing what they need to do with their families as well.
Now, I've seen some leagues cancel the season. What's happening in your division and in your conference and things like that? Are you guys going to play football this year? Like, what's going on?
They suspended play until the spring, so we're going to start our first game will be in March, mid-March. We'll come into camp in February and start some type of team conditioning in January. So we will play. We will play just our conference schedule. We will have an opportunity to compete for a conference championship. Right now, Division II programs across the country is split right now. I think we have up to 5 or 6 conferences that have pushed football back to the spring. So a few more add to that mix. The NCAA is definitely got to get involved and look at moving the NCAA championships and playoff segment as well.
Got you. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, obviously it's just changed for everybody, and I definitely hope your kids are safe and healthy, and hopefully, y'all can get started next year and have a great season. I think football is important. I love football, as you know, of course.
Right.
Obviously, you love football, and I'm just I honestly can't wait till the NFL starts. Just want to shift directions a little bit. I know you down in that DC area. You still rock with that team, man, bro? That burgundy and gold team, bro. That's still your squad, homie.
The burgundy gold is still my squad. I'm a Washingtonian, so this is home for me. And we're going through a little name change right now, and hopefully that changes the results at the end of these games as well. As far as but yeah, that's still my team, and I'm excited about those guys getting kicked off. We had an opportunity to pick up one of our local guys, Chase Young, who I'm really excited about him. He's he's grew up right here in Maryland, and for him to have an opportunity to play at home, I'm looking forward to some things that he's bringing to the table.
Yeah, that's true. The boy is dope. That dude, I'm scared of him. Obviously, we crazy Eagles fans up here. Right. Just don't hurt my boy, man. Don't hurt my boy, man. Stay away. Where's Chase Young? Stay away from him. But, real quick, I want to get your thoughts on the name change, yo. How do you feel about that? I mean, that's your whole life is that team name and whatnot. Like, what do you think?
I think it's well overdue. And you're looking at the time that the times we're going through right now. I think this is a situational conversation that was brought up some years ago. But I don't think it was enough push and enough people involved to make the necessary change. Now, and I definitely think it's in motion. It'll be different, calling the team something other than the Redskins. However, I think it's very appropriate to make that name change right now. We're probably a little late in the game, but at the end of the day, I'd rather see something happen late than not at all. So it's good to see people that are now listening and looking at things with open eyes and making the necessary adjustments. So, I'm excited about it. It's a step in the right direction for not just the football team, but also just the country, the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's time for a lot of things that we've talked about, but we're really going to start seeing changes. And I think it's our job to continue to put our foot on the gas and not let off at all.
Oh, that's a great point. You're absolutely right. Things change. Sometimes. You have to consider other people's feelings, and to be honest, money talks, right? The team, the name, that name changed because of that money, right, Coach?
Exactly, no doubt about it. You start losing sponsorships, that's how you pay your bills. So you got to start making the right decisions to keep your bills paid. And at the end of the day, I think it's definitely a good deal, though. I'm glad it's happening.
Exactly right, Coach. Also, reading your bio, I saw that you did some internships with some NFL teams, and I just kind of want to get your thoughts on, Black coaches in college and NFL. Obviously, you're a coach in college. You've done internships with coaches in NFL. Like, what are your thoughts overall with what's going on? Obviously, it's predominantly African American players. Mm-hmm. How come it's not really, unless I'm wrong, you correct me, how come it's not really translating where there's more people like you all over college, NFL, and everything? Like, what's going on with that, Coach?
I think we have to put in, like I said, I've been fortunate to do internships under the Bill Walsh internship program with the St. Louis Rams and also the New York Jets. And I think it's important to get people in positions to make the necessary hires. It's not enough of us in those top positions, the GM positions, ownership level, and that sort of thing. I think so. We're going to have to improve that hiring process, and I think it will trickle down. I also think the players have more voice in that than they believe. I think the players raise enough cane and bring it to the forefront. I think some change will happen as well. But it's a tough situation for those guys because they're trying to provide for their family. So, it's a business. But however, it definitely starts at the top. The minority internship program, that is an opportunity for guys to gain experience and get some some firsthand working experience with different NFL teams and to kind of show your worth. But I think we definitely have to work on some feeder systems or feeder programs to that GM level, to the ownership level. A lot of times the owners are not African American because they're coming from families who are well off. They're pretty much born into money and having opportunities that some of us may not have coming out. So we understand we got to work and approach this thing a little differently. But I believe we're going in the right direction. Once again, it's the same thing. We just talked about the name change. I think this is the George Floyd situation. I think was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think people are really opening their eyes and listening, and we understand we're going to have some hurdles to deal with. But as long as we continue to push together, I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stay on. What up ownership? Stay on that point. Do you think we'll ever have a black ownership in our lifetime? We're a little older and whatnot. Will it be your children's generation, our children's generation? Like, do you think it's going to happen in the next 10 to 15 years, or more like 30, or never? Like, what do you?
I think it'll definitely happen within the next 10 years. This is the time right now. If it doesn't happen in the next 10 years, then we're going to be 50 years. We'll probably be removed from this earth when it happens. It doesn't happen in the next 10 years. There's never been a time like this in our lifetime, and I venture to say there's never been a time like this ever, where all parties are kind of pushing for somebody that have the same agenda. I think there's enough people that's really pushing this deal. I think it's going to happen. It's important that our black coaches that are in the National Football League and are in head coaches positions at the Power 5 schools have success. So we have to support one another. I think that's happening more now than any other time. I've been in rooms where one black coach at one Power 5 school may bad talk another one, and right now I don't see that happen. I know there's certain groups being put together right now to push this agenda. So I definitely think it's gonna happen within the next 10 years. And like you said earlier, money talks. So you get the right people supporting you and the right people pushing certain agendas. I think you'll see the change.
Well, stay on that money aspect. I want to go back to some of the high school kids because obviously we're going to have to start changing, in my opinion, the mentality to the young people. Like start giving that information to the young people as far as, hey, sometime you could be, a black, obviously you're black. You could be an owner. Right. You got to go through the pipeline of coaching and GM if you really love football. Right. But also with the kids going to these universities, because, these top pro prospects go to the big schools like the Alabamas and whatnot. With what's going on in the world now, should they attend these HBCUs? Because in my opinion, you go to these schools, like your school and other schools, Howard University, whatever, the money will follow. So, Coach, do you think they should, or, what's your thoughts on that?
I definitely think they should definitely take a closer look to HBCUs. One thing that you hear about is the resources and the maybe the facilities aren't where they are at some of the Power 5 schools. But the way you change that is get those players there, and then the university, like you said, the money will follow. And if you look at the National Football League Hall of Fame, I mean, you probably look at the first two classes. Those guys came from HBCUs. So when we didn't have an opportunity to go to other places, we were under the spotlight, if you will. We were getting the recognition. And once we got an opportunity to attend some other schools, that took away from your HBCUs, receive some of those top players. So I think there's going to definitely be a new trend of some of the top guys going to HBCUs. I think basketball will see the benefit of it first, just because it takes less people to impact the basketball program than it does football team. And if you get you 3 or 4 4-star basketball players, you're gonna be in good shape.
You're gonna win the whole dang on thing, probably.
And the thing that I have mixed feelings about that, because basketball is so much of a one and done deal. If you're a good basketball player, I want those guys that end up going to HBCUs. I would love for them to finish, get their degree. I'm not saying you have to be there the 4 years right away, but do what you need to do to get yourself an opportunity to play in the NBA. However, let's look at putting programs in place so those guys can actually become alums of our HBCUs. So I think it's one thing to get them there, which is great, but I think we need to also look at different programs, whether it's virtual learning, whatever it may be, so those guys that are one and done still receive their degrees from an HBCU, because at the end of the day, your careers are going to be over, and you want to have that document saying that, hey, I've completed X, Y, and Z. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's definitely going to start really happening more often now, and I'm excited about that as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Listen, man, Coach, this has been great. Before we go, I want you to talk about what's going on. There's 5K virtual run, that you want to promote. Can you tell the world, tell everybody what's going on with this?
Man, this 3 years ago, it was a little longer than that, actually. I'm sitting around and I'm talking to my coaching staff, and we're winning ball games. We got graduating guys at over 80%. We're doing a good job in that area. And I said, hey, man, when we're all gone from Bowie State, what is something that we can do to impact this program for a lifetime? And so doing a little research, we looked at endowments. So we started our own football endowment at the university, and the minimum we could start it with was $25,000. So I said, hey, how can we get to this point and we can put this money in this endowment so we can, get it off the ground, and then also get folks matching dollars and that sort of thing. And we were fortunate to had a buy-in-bow ball club, because I think it's important to teach our student athletes the importance of giving back while they're in school. So once they graduate, it becomes almost like second nature. So I said, hey, I know these guys are college students, but give them a period to raise $100 a piece. However you do it, bring $100 to the table, raise $100. I said, that's $10,000 right there, because I got 100 ball players. So we started that. Then we got some other folks to donate and contribute. So we started so we had enough money to start our endowment. So now we're at the place where we want to add to that endowment along with the interest that grows. And one thing that we thought was a good idea to bring the community together as well as raise money for our endowment. We started a 5K run. We started last year, went well. We had over 400 runners. We're looking to have over 400 this year. This year is going to be virtual. So everybody can participate no matter what state you're in. We have the links available. It's on August 8th. We're looking to have about 600 or 700 runners participate. We have a special medal this year. We given a replica medal of our championship rings. So it's going to be a nice takeaway from participating in an event, and it's all for a good cause, which is to add to our scholarship foundation or endowment, I should say. That's cool. How can people find out about this? Where can they get information? You can go on the Bowie State website, www.bowiestate.edu. You can go to the 5K. We have a link on our website. You can also go under Elite Feats, Bowie State 5K. If you just typed in your search bar, Bowie State University Football 5K, it'll pop up, and it's a $30 deal. Like I said, it comes with, you'll get a medal. We're gonna mail medals out right after the event. You'll submit your times through the provider online, and we go from there. So something we want to build upon. I think it's something that at this time everybody's walking in the neighborhoods, running, getting that extra cardio in because we have a little bit more time on our hands. So why not do it with a purpose? Why not do it with a purpose? Support a local HBCU that's, I think, doing great things on the field as well as in the classroom to give our student athletes a better opportunity for success. Yo, that's great. That's awesome. I did sign up. I didn't do the 5K, coach. I only did the 1K walk thing, So I gotta take my time. I appreciate you. I've been trying to prepare around here and get me a couple miles in. I'll be ready by the 8th. I'll finish. I don't know what my time may be. I'm going to finish. Well, yo, thank you, man. I really, really appreciate you coming on our podcast. And I'm so proud of you and all the work that you're doing.
and the work that you will continue to do and how great of a person that you are. And once again, appreciate you coming on this podcast, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Be safe now.
All right. You take care. So there you go, Keish. That was
wow.
Yeah, that's head football coach for Bowie State University, Damon Wilson. And Keisha, I'm sure as a coach, you appreciated some of the things that he talked about.
Absolutely. Well, first I want to say, good job, Ori, on the interview. That interview was hot. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for joining us and giving your insights on everything. I mean, to have a head coach from a HBCU, you're trying to do big things. But yeah, as a coach, I felt, now I haven't coached since I had my son, but I can only imagine what it would feel like. A big part of coaching is connecting to your players. I would say 60% of your relationship is off the court. So to not be able to have that connection, and I kind of felt it, you know, he was like, he can't keep an eye on them. I had a sense of worry, but not just, you know, are they keeping up with their regimen? Are they doing this or that? In the times that we're in, you felt the concern of, are my men okay? Are they handling themselves appropriately? Are they safe out here in these streets? They're battling protests, they're battling police. Society in general, we're in a strange time right now. And then on top of that, you know, I'm sure, you know, like he said, the concern of just staying healthy and not in just the, you know, staying in shape for the season, but just staying healthy considering the pandemic that we're in. So, you know, I'm sure it's a rough time for coaches of all sports, man. I can't even imagine. You know, I miss my girls when we're in off season. So, you know, to have that hype building up, like, all right, see you next year. And then boom, a pandemic hits and everything changes. So I really felt what he was saying with that. His concern for his players really came through.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to him, because this is a crazy time.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just wondering how you get through it, and you got to connect with everybody virtually. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he kind of expressed that, saying, you know, the virtual thing definitely helps, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Just like me and you is, you know, we vibe, but I think our vibe is different when we're in person. And on a coaching level, you know, people can tell you anything through this camera, Liz, but when you're person to person, you can feel that, you can sense what that person is going through. You can tell if they need something, even if they say they're okay. You can tell if they're lying to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely a strange time, but this does help, and this too shall pass. And I know this is hitting HBCUs a lot harder than it's hitting the PWIs, just because of the limited resources anyway. So then there's the threat of, I know some HBCUs may not make it out of this as far as their sports programs. You know, a couple of them have already canceled not just their football seasons, but their sports seasons in general, just because they can't take the monetary hit. And then who's to say the players are going to come back? So I'm sure all that kind of stuff was on his mind too. So we just got to wait and see what happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Keisha, we run out of time. Any last thoughts before we roll out?
No, man, I just think that he was a great interview. Mr. Wilson was a great interview because he gave a lot of insight, not just to being a coach during a pandemic, but also during civil unrest. Also, you know, talking about how now's the time to strike, not just for top athletes to head to HBCUs. You know, and we talked about this in a previous podcast. The concern is, well, lack of resources. I think he made a huge point, a valid point. And we made this point that the players have to come first. I like that he said that even though he's a football coach, he knows that the basketball teams will probably benefit from that sooner because it takes fewer players to make an impact on a basketball team, only in numbers only. I mean, all players make impacts, but you will only need a good 3 or 4 players on a basketball team as opposed to probably a good 10 or 12 on a football team. And it's also a lot harder to pull that football crowd to an unknown place. But I appreciated his honesty in that because it shows that, and it's not just, I'm sure it wasn't just because he's a coach at a HBCU, but just concern for our athletes and wanting them to be in a place where they're nurtured on the court and off the court. So his last point that he made regarding African-American coaches in the NFL, I thought that was a great point too. Like, and not just with that, but with a lot of things, this is the time for us to make serious systemic changes, from banking institutions to athletic institutions to universities to professional sports. And if we can't get a Black NFL owner or some more head coaches in the next 10 years, to his point, we're going to miss a huge opportunity. You got to strike while the iron is hot. So overall, I appreciate his candidness, his honesty, and that was just a fire interview, Ori. So yeah, good job.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I loved all his answers, and I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything the coach said. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see, some changes with what's going on in the world right now, and hopefully the steps are moving in towards that situation.
Yeah, it's just let's make it better for everybody, man. And hopefully it gets greater later, because all this negativity stuff is going to pass. So we got to make sure we're prepared on the other side. Yeah, so we just want to thank head coach of Bowie State, Damon Wilson, for coming through and just giving us all his insights. And you can find a link for the 5K run. We're going to attach it to our YouTube website. We're going to attach it to our Instagram and our Facebook page. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Let's support the cause. And thanks for tuning in. Make sure you, as we always ask, right, Ori, make sure you like, share, comment.
Agree with me.
In this case, you agree with both of us. We had a great guy on who had some intelligent things to say. So we both enjoy great people and smart people. So this time, Ori can't be wrong because he got the guest. So I got to give him a little credit on that. But make sure y'all continue to watch and check us out.
All right, y'all. Peace.
God bless.